Good morning, everybody. It's time to laugh. I'm Haley, and I'm super excited to be back streaming today. I took a week off last week because I had to work on Monday, and so I'm excited to be back. I am excited to dive back into my book that I started 2 weeks ago, and I've been faithful to not read it outside of the stream because I want to read it together with you guys. So, I'm excited to dive back in. Feel free to say hi in the chat if you'd like, or you can just hang out and watch. You can read along, you could read your own book, whatever you feel like you want to do. And I am just going to dive right in because it's time to laugh. So, from what I remember, I'm not super far in. I read 10 chapters last week, which I guess it's not a super long book. So, it's maybe like a third of the way ish. And from what I remember, these two people, they got set up on a blind date, and she had a whole freak out, didn't end up going, but then they ended up running into each other and becoming friends, and then they're essentially helping each other with different things, but he's helping her try to find her passion. So every Saturday, I think they're taking a day to do something together. And so that's kind of where we're at. Also, I'm sure you guys noticed, but my voice is a little bit scratchy today. We had a worship night for our church on Saturday and a bunch of rehearsals leading up to it, and so my voice is very tired and lots of talking and singing over the weekend. So, yeah. And then also, this is a chopstick and it's holding my hair together. I saw a video last night of a girl explaining how to do it in using a chopstick to like hold your bun, and I actually kind of love it because it's not putting any tension. This is so random. I'm sorry, but not sorry because this is part of what this is supposed to be. But apparently it doesn't put any tension on your scalp because it puts tension inside the bun itself. So it's better for your head because then you don't have those little hairs that are tugging on your scalp and giving you headaches. So that's nice. Okay, I guess we'll just dive in. I might go back. I'm going to go back just a couple pages just to remind myself. I'm just going to kind of skim a little bit and remember where I'm at. So the male main character's name is Henry. The female main character's name is... I can't remember now. Oh, okay, but I do remember that they were talking about Pride and Prejudice. I love the banter. I do remember that. Oh, yeah. And then I remember the female main character, she needs therapy because I can't remember if she was engaged or if it was just her ex they had been dating for a while, and pretty sure he passed away in a car accident or something, and so she's been like down for the count and just not wanting to do anything, which fair enough, but also she definitely needs some therapy to process through it because I think she's just kind of been sitting on the grief and hasn't actually processed it. So that's part of why that's happening. And then her best friend and roommate's name is Sonia. Yeah, okay. Okay, I think we're caught up enough for me to proceed, so let's do it. All right, chapter 11, page 106, The Passion Project. Here we go. Oh, yep. Okay. And then Andy is her ex's, which, do you call them an ex if they pass away? I mean, I guess. Her late boyfriend? I don't know. Her late boyfriend sister. They used to be best friends, and the sister's getting married soon, and she like tried really hard after Sam, the late boyfriend, passed away, to, keep the connection going and keep the friendship going. And the female main character just was like, I can't be around anybody. So that's rough, but she is spiraling a little bit. I love that. So she definitely has depression, um, and or experiences bouts of depression. And there was a moment. So her roommate's girlfriend was in the kitchen when she came. She finally came out. She was kind of in a depressive state for like 3 days, and her roommate's girlfriend was in the kitchen when she came out, and they kind of had a moment where she basically was like, you're not alone in this. She was like, I've experienced that too, and some people don't get it, but I get it. And I feel like that is something that is so underrated, is the acknowledgement that you're not the only one. And I think for some people it would, like, you have to deliver that in the right way of telling somebody you're not the only one, because you don't want it to seem like you're being insensitive to, like, oh, get over it, you're not the only one dealing with it. But I do think it's humbling in the most healthy way, I think, to know that you're not alone in that and that people understand it, because then you know that people have come out on the other side of it, if that makes sense. Because I can speak from experience. Had I had a season of my life where I did experience some depression, and so I can understand it to a certain extent. I I haven't necessarily experienced a an unexplainable bout of depression. Mine was more situational depression. Um, but I still can understand the feeling like you literally can't do anything. Like you just want to lay in bed and sleep all day. Um, and it's hard to get out of, but you figure out little things, and honestly, therapy was the thing that helped me, so I definitely recommend that. Um, but it is part of it is just being able to process through emotions and process through the things that you can identify that you're feeling, because obviously there's sometimes where it is just a chemical imbalance, and it's hard to there's not necessarily an explanation, but there's definitely sometimes where there is maybe a root to it that you can get to, and you can process through and talk to somebody about, or if you're a Christian, you can pray about it, all those things. So anyways, that was kind of an aside, but just was interesting. I just liked that. It was a minimal part to the overarching story, but it's still an important thing. And I feel like when books are able to make things like this so relatable, even if you can't exactly relate, that's when you know the book is good. Because there's obviously books that the main characters are experiencing things or struggling with things that you may not have experienced in your life. But if you can still find a way to relate to it because of the writing and because of how they present it in the writing, I feel like that's how you know the author is good at communicating what they're trying to communicate. That's real. They invited her to a movie and she initially was thinking about not going, but then she decided to say yes, and she says, I've always liked movie theaters. I like the smell of the popcorn, the sticky floor, the snacks, but most of all, I love sitting in a big room with a bunch of strangers and not feeling pressured to say a word. Uh, that's very true. Oh, uh-oh. So the roommate's girlfriend invited her to the movie, and she invited a couple of her other friends, other work friends, and one of them is the bartender at the very beginning that was serving Bennett, the female main character. She was serving her wine until she puked her brains out. Oh my gosh. Uh-oh. Ooh, I think she's lying. There's some sneakiness going on about who knows who and what's happening with Henry, because work, old work friends, and I don't think it'll be that major, but it's like a little bit. I feel like gonna be something that maybe comes out later. Uh, she's a little bit too much in denial that something is going on with her and Henry. All right, chapter 12. Aww, and he's good with old people. We love a man that cares. That's so cute. I really hope that she starts to get better soon. Because I just feel like if she's gonna stay stuck in this rut and not do anything to help herself, I feel like I'm gonna get a little bit, not annoyed. Annoyed is the wrong word, but I don't know. Anyways. Oh. Oh no, you have to stay in there. So she was working because she does like contracting jobs basically, and so she just does random stuff, and so she was working as a check-in person for a, this one was a psychology event, and she went in to go because she wanted to see, oh excuse me, because Henry showed up. He was taking pictures for the event, and so she went in because she wanted to see how Henry works, because she didn't realize he was like a real photographer. She thought he was just kind of the hipster, like, oh yeah, I take photos. So she goes in because she wants to see him talk, but then the guy that's speaking at the conference, he's talking about helping patients heal through grief. And so the story that he's telling obviously makes her think about her circumstances and makes her really emotional. So she starts crying, and then Henry notices and comes over, and now she's running out trying to get away. Oh, and he's a Star Wars nerd. I love that. He has a rock collection, and he has a red rock from Sedona, and she asks him if it has a name, and he says Darth Maul. Oh, that she says I'm embarrassed for you. Big facts. Just because I like being around people doesn't mean I don't also like being alone. Real. Uh-oh. She's asking him about Jamie, her roommate's girlfriend, because there was like that weird interaction earlier where, or when they were at the movie, and they said they all knew each other, and they said they knew Henry, and then Jamie and Sonia tried to like pass it off like they didn't really know him that well, or that Jamie didn't really know them that well. So now she's asking him. Okay, so he. Okay, so he did something weird too. So something's gonna come out about that, I think. Because they're all being suspicious. I've always wanted to go to New York. This is making me want to go even more, but I I love the fact that there is still like little pockets of nature there. Like they're finding these little pockets that are some of his favorite spots to sit, that just feel more calm and at peace, because I'm sure being in the hustle and bustle of New York probably gets overwhelming sometimes. So you definitely have to find ways to feel grounded again. And nature is one of the best ways to do that. Oh, now that is a good father. I love that. Okay, let me finish this section and then I'll tell you guys what's happening. Okay, so before I keep going, that was so cute. So she asks him why he wanted to become a photographer. And he says it's a long story, but she was like, "Okay, well, I want to hear it." So then he basically says that he had a speech impediment when he was a kid, and his parents were worried that he would never have normal, like, never be able to speak normally. And he was petrified of talking to people. And so his dad started taking him out every weekend to basically any public place he could find. And he would strike up conversation with people. And he would tell Henry that he was just practicing and that he should try it too. And so he ended up really looking forward to those outings, and eventually he started wanting to take their pictures to remember them and like document it more, and then that kind of just developed into him being a photographer. But it also has helped him preserve memories for his dad, because his dad, I think, he has dementia, and so he's forgetting a bunch of things, and it's, going day by day, and he's kind of just losing him slowly. But I love the fact that his dad, like, his parents didn't try to force him to do something. They modeled the right behavior, or they modeled what they wanted him to do. And that's the most powerful way, I think, to influence kids, because kids are sponges, and they're so observant. They're always going to watch and see what you're doing, and then oftentimes do what you're doing. And so the fact that instead of just trying to force him to talk to people, his dad modeled, "Oh, I'm practicing. I'm practicing talking to people. I'm practicing striking up conversations with strangers." And so he modeled that for Henry, and then Henry was like, "Oh," and then he got excited about it, and then he wanted to do it, and then, he obviously is where he is now and is great with people and loves taking pictures and all the different things. But I just love that, and I think that that's so cool. But then she is kind of reflecting on him telling the story, and she's thinking about how, like, for her, she lost Sam in a second. And that's, one type of grief. But he's just a memory, versus Henry is losing his dad slowly. And she says, but losing someone slowly must be like having the person and the memory of them alive at the same time. It's crazy. I can't even imagine. Oh, okay, with the bars. She says, I want to be this Bennett, the clean one, because the more trash you accept in your life, the more you feel like you deserve it. Ooh, that's good. Because then the opposite is true. The more good you accept in your life, the more you feel like you deserve it. And that is what we love to see. So this passion project outing is a sitting in on an Econ 101 class. uh, uh. Their banter's so cute. I love it. Uh-oh, she forgot. Just invite him to the party. So Saturday is their passion project day, and she realizes that she forgot her roommate is throwing a party to celebrate her earrings being sold by the company that she works for. and she completely forgot about it. And so she had to text Henry and say, "Oh, we have to postpone because I have plans." It's Henry, it's Henry, it's Henry. Oh my gosh. She knows his hands. Oh my gosh. Ah. Uh oh, Sarah's jealous. She invited him, but she's jealous. Uh... So they ran into each other at the party that she's going to because somebody invited him. And when I say ran into, I mean literally ran into because she ran into him and spilled her drink all over him. So they went to the bathroom to go clean up, and he takes off his shirt because it's fully stained with the drink that she spilled on him. And of course, she can't help but looking at him and admiring his body. uh... She says, "Henry, I'm going to give you a compliment now." I love that. Uh... Oh my gosh, this is hilarious. But also, okay, this actually brings up a great point. I feel like in this is why I like friends to lovers, because when they're friends to lovers, they become friends first because they like being around each other. They like spending time with each other, and they like each other's personalities and they get along. And then slowly they realize that they're physically attracted to each other. And I love that because that's how life should be. I think too often, especially with like dating apps and everything, social media and all that kind of stuff, it's so easy to get sucked in by the physical attraction first, but that's like the least thing that you should be worried about, because ultimately the more attracted you are to their personality and who they are as a person, the more physically attracted to you are going to be to them. If you're just physically attracted to them and you're not attracted to their personality or who they are, what are you doing? You know? So I love this because she's learning more about him, and she likes him, and she's friends with him, and she is becoming, even if she's not aware of it, she's becoming attracted to him as a person and his personality. And now she's realizing that she's physically attracted to him. And that's what the progression should be, because ultimately it's the physical attraction will fade. Like, if you're dating somebody, if you're thinking about getting married, if you want to spend the rest of your life with somebody, eventually their looks are going to start going like this a little bit, because you just get older and you get wrinkles, and you, not that you're not so physically attracted to the person because you love them, but it's who they are that should be the most attractive thing to you. So I just had to say that because I love that this is happening. And I mean, obviously it's always fun to kind of get to the point where they start to realize the physical attraction to the person, just because it's like an awakening in their brain of like, oh, because once that part of it starts to wake up, then they're like, oh my gosh, it makes them realize how attracted they are to their personality and who they are. And I just think it's so funny. Oh, oh, have they switched into flirting? She gave him a compliment about his tattoo, and he's ribbing her about flirting. He's like, "Are you flirting with me?" And she's like, "No." She says, "I regret telling you. Pretend I don't exist." He says, "Yeah, like I could do that." Oh. 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 So much tension. So much tension. Oh. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. She's gonna spiral. Oh. No. No. Yes, you guys should talk about it. Talk about it. You have to talk about it. Oh no. No, he does want to kiss you. Oh, stop it. Oh no. She's spiraling. Oh, this is going to be bad. Oh. Okay, so they're in the bathroom cleaning his shirt. They get a little flirty. There's tension in the air. They lock eyes with each other. She starts to go in. And he kind of does too. Like there's tension, and so they are obviously attracted to each other. And then he stops her, which good and respectful, because he knows at the very beginning when they started this whole thing, she said, "I am not looking for anything. I only want to be friends." And so he's respecting that, and he says, "I know this is not what you want," which is good. But then, of course, she takes it as a complete rejection. How could he ever want to kiss me? How could I have been so stupid? How could I betray my lost love, Sam? How could I want somebody else to kiss me? At what I'm betraying him. I'm all these things. Now she's spiraling, and ugh. And this is where the miscommunication is tough, because in real life, I don't know, because it's not like they know each other super well, but they also know each other better than just complete strangers. So in this scenario, especially when there's something like this where there's a rejection that happens or just a miscommunication of intent, you need to talk about it. Like, and you don't have to talk about it just then, but you have to talk about it. You have to talk it out. You have to process through it and just get back on the same page. Because if you don't talk about it, then people start to spiral and bad things happen, and it just is not good. But she doesn't want to talk about it, and so they're not going to talk about it, and it's just... Okay. Anyways, moving on. Keep reading, Haley. Oh, jeez. So her friend Sonia finally hit her breaking point, and yeah. She says, can't even be bothered to say hi to me at my own party. Can't even remember the most basic details about my life. And Bennett says, I'm so sorry, I have a lot going on. And she says, we all have a lot going on, Bennett, and I'm done pretending that you're not hurting my feelings. Jamie tells me to give you a pass because you're going through a tough time, but it's not an excuse anymore. Just because you keep everything locked up in a cage doesn't mean the rest of us have to. Just because you think you're all alone doesn't mean you are. People care about you. People want to care about you. Stop pretending you're the enemy. It's really tiring. Harsh, but very, very true. And I think she really needed a wake-up call. And I'm hoping that that will be her wake-up call. But there's a lot of book left. So we will see what happens. See, even her and her friend aren't talking now. They're just avoiding each other. I'm like, you have to talk it out. Apologize. I don't like it when people don't talk to each other. Okay, she's starting to bug me now. See, that was so easy. Oh my gosh. Stop it. That's true. She says, I let her down. I'm always letting people down. And he says, it's what people do. We're imperfect. We hurt each other. But I don't have any doubt in my mind you will make it right. This is a good man. Also, I'm starting chapter 17 now. Her and Henry made up. They're going to go back to normal. But now she's afraid she's going to move or lose her job because she dumped a bunch of champagne on a guest. She was doing a catering job or whatever, and there was a guy that was groping her at the table. Her boss didn't listen to her, and when she asked to switch spots, and so she ended up dumping champagne on him. So now she's getting called in for a reassessment. So she's worried she's going to lose her job. So she goes in for, that was chapter 17, she goes in for her reassessment. They basically just tell her she can't do any more catering jobs, and that Sal, the guy that she usually works at the library with, had to leave to go help his daughter through a family emergency, a medical emergency. And so now she's really worried about Sal because she thinks something happened with the baby. And so she's stressed about that, but she doesn't know what the best way to like reach out to him is, which is understandable. Oh. See, this is what happens when people talk to each other. That's so cute. So she was supposed to pick the next passion project with Henry, and so she ended up having him help her do something for Sonia because she wanted to apologize to Sonia. And so they bought a bunch of stuff from Home Depot and they went up onto their roof and made this little kind of oasis things. They put like astroturf and they got like a little flamingo and some plants and some twinkle lights and some lawn chairs so that they can like hang out up on the roof. And so she's showing it to Sonia and basically just apologizing and trying to tell her like, I have struggled so much with letting you back in after everything that happened because I am not the same person that I was before Sam, and I don't know how to be that person anymore. And she was like, I just don't know. I'm sorry. Like, I want to be better. I want to like be that person again. And then Sonia says, she says, of course I loved the old you, and kind of goes into some of the details of the things that she would do for her. And she says, but what I think you don't understand is that, yes, I loved that Bennett, and yes, you've hurt me, but I don't see you any different than I did when we were 16. You're still you. You just have more colors, more depth, and yeah, more pain. And this whole time, I only wanted you to let me in and let me love you as the entire person you are. It's all the same, just different parts of the whole. I love that. It's beautiful. That's so true. Because the reality is that everybody goes through seasons. Everybody changes. And if you don't acknowledge the fact that you're going to change, then things aren't going to go super well for you. Like, even in relationships, like, you have to go into it knowing that you're going to be different. If you're not changing, even in a year, I mean, shoot, even in 6 months, if you're not changing in some ways, yes, of course, your, base personality and things are going to be the same or similar, but you should always be changing and growing and developing and all those different things. And so the reality is that you go through seasons of life, and that should be something you celebrate, not something that you are sad about or mad about. And yeah, there may be seasons where you're grieving a past, or you're grieving a relationship, or you're, reflecting on something that maybe didn't go the way you want it to go, but you can use that to learn from. And that's what's most important. And yeah, I just love that. I think that's so good. No, I thought she was gonna be different. So she made up with Sonia. She gets back downstairs to find the invite to Andy's wedding. She says, if I've let Sonia's friendship wither away from lack of sunlight and water, I murdered Andy's friendship with gardening shears. And then she takes the invite and shoves it into the bottom of the silverware drawer without opening it. I thought she was gonna have a change of heart, and I was excited. It's gonna happen. I believe it's gonna happen later in the book, but we're at page 190, so we're a little over halfway now. So it's not time yet for everything to fall into place because it's too early. So okay, I think I'm gonna read maybe one more chapter. Yeah, I'll read one more chapter at least, and then when this chapter's over, I'll see how I feel and how that chapter ends, and then we'll go from there. Okay, chapter 19. Oh. Shut up. Shut up. Oh, this is gonna be so cute. Oh, okay, so it's another passion project day. It's Henry's turn to pick. He says that he has a shoot, so he is gonna make her his assistant for the day. And so they go down to New Jersey, and a car honks. A man is standing in the open driver's side door of a beat up blue sedan, waving at me like a maniac. I squint my eyes to get a better look. Sal? I don't think it was bad. What happened to Sal, the medical emergency? I think maybe she went into labor early, and so Henry's gonna take pictures for that. Okay, don't get ahead of yourself. Don't get ahead of yourself. Here we go. Here we go. Oh, she had the baby. Oh. Oh. He's a detective and he found her. Oh my gosh. This man is amazing. Oh, the amount of panic that people who've never held a baby experience is so funny to me. Uh-oh. But the amount of baby fever you get when a man holds a baby is dangerous. Oh. Okay. Oh gosh. Do I keep reading? I don't know. Oh, that was so cute though. So they went to Sal's house, and he did a shoot for the baby, and it was so cute. And then the baby was asleep. They finished the photo shoot. The baby was asleep. So they got out some wine and they had a little cheese board and they hung out. And she basically was just like, this feels like family. Feels like she spent a day with her family. And so she texted her mom and said that she misses her. And then they're like, okay, we should probably go. And the family's like, no, you don't. We've all been drinking. Nobody can drive you to the station. You'll stay here. And so now I feel like we might have a only one bed trope happening here. Something is about to happen. So I think I'm gonna keep reading. Okay, chapter 20. No, he didn't make it clear that that's not what he wants. He made it clear that you said that's not what you want. And so he is honoring your wishes, and now you're being dumb about it. Oh my gosh, there's so much tension. That's really funny. I have to put a little thing on that. Uh, oh, thank you. Welcome in to the stream. I am towards the end of my stream right now, potentially, but I never really have a time limit. So, and also, I feel like she's about to open up to him. So that's exciting. I don't know. I'm reading, you can't tell because I have the dust jacket off, but I'm reading The Passion Project, and I'm 212 pages in at the moment, so I'm over halfway, but it's so good. And it's basically Henry is the male main character, Bennett is the female main character, and they're basically doing this passion project where she is just kind of lost in her life and he's trying to help her find her passion. And so they're doing a bunch of, basically every Saturday they're doing a bunch of different activities, just random fun things in New York is where they live. And so they obviously become friends, and they are at this point now starting to clearly like each other a little bit more than friends, and flirt with each other a little bit. But she has a tough past because she was dating a guy. They'd been together for multiple years, and then he ended up dying in a car accident. And she feels a lot of guilt about that because I think he was driving to go check on her because she was sick or something, and he died in the car accident. So she has a lot of guilt around it. And so it's been, I think, over 2 years since that happened, but she's basically been really just sad and dealing with depression and all the things, and she hasn't really dealt with it. She hasn't dealt with the guilt, she hasn't dealt with the pain or the grief. And so it's kind of like she's starting to slowly open up to Henry and like reopen up to her friends and stuff, but she is still struggling with a lot of things. And so she is feeling more vulnerable with people now, but she hasn't fully let everything go and actually process through it all. And so the chapter that I just finished, they were on their way back to their places because they stayed at a friend's house. And he says, he finally asks her, which I have so much respect for him because he has not asked her like any questions about it, even though I think he's known. And I can't remember if she has said anything to him about it. I don't think she has. And I think this is maybe where a couple chapters ago, there was some overlap with their friend groups, and her friends were being kind of suspicious about who knew who and how they knew each other. And so I think because of the overlap of friends, I think he knows about her late boyfriend. And so I feel like she might be mad that he's asking, or that he knows without telling her he knew. But because that just happened and he asked her about it, I'm going to keep reading because I want to know what happens. So we're going to start chapter 21. Chapter 21. Oh, wow. She says, the only two people who know the entire truth are me and Sam, though I suppose that leaves only me. Whoa, that's crazy. Yeah, because it's one of those scenarios where you've gotten like just the tiniest little snippets of, you know, he died in a car accident. You know, she feels a lot of guilt over it. And that's kind of it. Like, you don't really know the details. So hopefully we're about to get into that right now. Oh my gosh. Okay. So she tells him the story of what happened. So essentially, They started dating when they were in college. He graduated, moved back to live with his parents in Jersey. She was still in college, and she basically just explains how she loved him basically too much, in the sense that everything that she was doing, all the plans that she was making, were based on what he wanted and not on what she wanted. And so it just got kind of out of hand. And so she wasn't making decisions for herself. And so when he wanted to move back to New York after he got a job, she started panicking a little bit. She ended up, without telling anybody, applying for a bunch of internships and ended up getting one. Called him to tell him that she got one and that she was going to do it, but wanted to make things work. Understandably, he got a little bit upset and decided to drive to where she was. And it was a Saturday night in a college town, and so car accident, ended up passing away in the car accident. And so she feels a lot of guilt about it, all the different things. But I can definitely relate to that, in the sense that if you are so used to making decisions based on other people, or basing decisions off of what other people want, and I mean, sometimes it's hard not to, because you love that person so much, but at the same time, you have to know what you want, and it can't just be a following blindly type of thing. And so I'm really glad that she opened up to Henry. My one worry is that she won't actually process everything out, or that Henry is going to be kind of her like band-aid to deal with all the emotions that she's experiencing. So I don't know. I kind of hope that she acknowledges that like she's going to start going to therapy and stuff, but I don't know. As long as there's some indication that she's actually processing through everything, I'll be okay. But if there's not, and it's just like love conquers all, love heals everything, I don't really love that. But anyways, I think her opening up to Henry made her a lot more open to going to Andy's wedding. So she said, going to the wedding, they gave me a +1. Would you go with me? And he said, absolutely. So, okay, I think I'm going to end there. That was chapter 21. So I'm on chapter 22 on page 220. And there is, let's see, 354. So I've got 130 pages left-ish. So that sounds good. I might be able to finish that next week, potentially. I'll probably get pretty into it, so I might read kind of fast and be able to finish it all. But I would like to know, let me know, you guys, if a little bit of a later time of the day would work better. I've been doing Monday mornings at 10, from 10 till anywhere from 11 to noon to maybe 1, depending on how long I read. But I could definitely push it back a little bit if it would be easier for people to hop on and watch or hang out or whatever. So let me know if you guys would want me to push it back at all. And yeah, I will see you guys next week. I hope you guys have an amazing week. And thank you for dropping in. Thank you for saying hi. Thank you for watching and joining in with me on this little journey. And I will see you guys next week. Bye.